Hello and welcome everybody. This is a quick video about the Upwell Covert Research Facility as part of the Lightning Strikes content which just hit today. On screen you see my investigation vessel, which features around 700 EHP tank cold. I can get this to 1k EHP per second hot plus some booster, so I will hopefully not die to the site. Furthermore, I'm running a fairly stable capacitor here. I do have a battery, so there is some capacitor warfare resistance as well, roughly 900 DPS on the offense side. And well, the drones are not really important. You will see why that is. The tank I do not only achieve through the fitting, I'm also running a high-grade, mid-grade mix crystal set, plus there's a few support implants in regards to application and damage for missiles, the heavy assaults as well. I do bring a salvager to just, peek at whatever salvage the vessels I kill are yielding, and then I also brought an expanded probe launcher to find the sites. It's actually not necessary. Those are anomalies, so you can warp there right away. The fit is linked in the description, and you will see a total overkill running the site. My current estimate is you need roughly 300 to 400 EHP a second, if not even less. And in terms of DPS, well, 400 or 500 should do the trick as well. The site itself is not very dangerous. It appears, well, there's a lot of E-war going on, and it is in low sec, but the rats themselves are not really harsh in terms of damage they do on you. Well, let's have a look at how this works. Let's run the site. I'm going to switch to local here, so I can see when somebody enters, because again, a low sec site running is quite dangerous. Since this stuff is not gated, you warp there and you're immediately on top of the content, so everybody else can just warp to the anomaly as well. Therefore, well, make sure, stay safe. Don't run this in overcrowded places. There is a chance the site is escalating as well, and this escalation obviously is a private bookmark, I guess somewhere in low/null as well. Upon arrival, the rats are not there yet, so let's do a quick sightseeing here with the nice visuals. And here we go. There is a spawn of drones, so you're fighting against drones, but those are not your standard drones in terms of resistances and damage they do, depending on the name or the type of the drone. So you will get a type A, B, C, and D drones, which can be frigates, cruisers, destroyers, and battle cruisers. And depending on the type, they do a certain type of damage, plus are having a specific resistance hull. So A type, it's pretty simple, is a EM based vessel, so it does EM and it also has an EM hull. The B type is thermal, same thing. C type with kinetic, and D type with explosive. I only figured that out throughout the site, as you can see, and I don't think it makes sense to change kind of damage type unless your reload is super quickly. So I started with EM and I realized, well, there's some rats which have a kinetic damage hull, and then I switched to that one, but I didn't switch any damage type later on because it just doesn't make sense. You get kind of random-ish spawn in terms of types and also group size. I was running 2 sites so far, and the spawns seem to be random. There was, I believe, 4 small waves, and then at the end a battleship. Also, you can see there is a shit ton of E-war going on. There is warp disruption, warp scram. We have the neuting going on, plus webbing is in the mix, and some guidance disruptors are actually also present here. You can see some damage type. So the damage hull with the rats in their resistances is exactly the damage they are going to put out to you. So you want to have a flat profile and, well, just shoot some kind of damage type. I don't think it really matters unless you're, again, as I said, fast switching the damage type. Now let's, well, watch the site. I'll pull up the music a little bit, and we will talk about loot a bit later as well. In terms of salvage, I don't think it's worth it. The salvage seems to be Tech 1 only. I have not salvaged the final battleship yet, but I will put that into the video description once I know if there is any good stuff in the battleship salvage. In terms of range, you might have noticed already that almost everything is going to be up close, around about 3 to 8 kilometers from your current position, except for the battle cruisers. They seem to be staying at 30 kilometers, which is kind of a bit annoying if you only have a weapon system that goes to like 21-ish kilometers here in my case, so I had to chase the battle cruisers eventually. What I did in the second site, which is, well, the video you're watching right now, I usually started approaching the battle cruiser while killing off everything that wanted to stay close by. You also see a mobile tractor unit on grid. I deployed that one thinking there's actually loot going to drop. This is not the case with the waves. Only the battleship is going to drop loot, as well as a structure that kind of decloaks once you killed the battleship. So there's no point in having your mobile tractor unit out unless you intend to salvage, but since you have to, or maybe have to chase the further out targets, you might not be able to salvage at the same time, so you have to solve that another way. So between the waves, I always try to, you know, go back to the mobile tractor unit slash the beacon, because the structure that is going to decloak at the end after killing the battleship will sit on top of the beacon. I got a local while running the site. He was there before and he sat in a Nemesis, so I just, well, was hoping he's not going to hop on top of me and bring friends, but it didn't happen, so we can just ignore him for now. And here we go, the boss spawned, the Swarm Overmind 2, or well, 2102, that is. This guy has a flat resistance profile and does omni damage, so it doesn't really matter what you use in terms of missiles, and your tank should be able to handle all kinds of damage. You do see that the incoming damage is not very high though, so my tank is perfectly able to handle this. Again, I have 700 EHP cold with this, and I'm normally not even running my shield booster continuously. I just pulse it once in a while. So after the Swarm Overmind here explodes, that guy has loot. Don't forget to pick that up. You want to go back to the beacon, you know, the initial warp in point where the Decloaked structure will pop up, and that one you obviously also have to shoot in order to access other loot. I did have a little issue with my cargo space here, but if you don't bring a mobile tractor unit, which is not really necessary if you do not intend to salvage, you can just, you know, save a little bit of space. And there we're going down to the Decloaked backup storage vault, where an additional loot is waiting for us. So the battleship has loot, plus the Decloaked backup storage vault has loot as well. We will see in a moment the total of 2 sites I run this afternoon. And there we go. Final loot, ink. And well, that is how you run the Upwell Covert Research Facility. Let's check how the loot looks like. So one thing I want to mention before showing you the loot, the rats do have bounties. Running a single site appears to yield roughly in 10 million ISK each. And if you have a look at the loot now, what I got from 2 sites so far was a Thunderchild blueprint, that being one of the new vessels, which hit with this content patch, a Stormbringer blueprint, another vessel that hit with this content patch, and we also do have Mesmer Flux Condenser Pack, whatever that is, large micro jump drive blueprint, and a small Vorton projector blueprint. That's the weapon used by these new ships, plus there is a Vorton tuning system blueprint, whatever that does. We got Covert Research tools, a opulent compound thingy thing, agency boosters seem to drop as well, plus Edencom Vorton boosters, which are modifying or making the weaponry of the new ships more powerful. And you can see there is some, well, drone loot plus the salvage here, which was just Tech 1 salvage, but I haven't salvaged the boss or the battleship, so I don't know. Maybe that one has better salvage. Sentient signal amplifier did drop, so maybe sentient drone stuff can drop. You know, there's more expensive modules than this one. Let's see if that's going to happen. And I got a skill book, the Vorton Power Amplification. And well, that kind of concludes the quick video about the Upwell Covert Research Facility, part of Lightning Strike's content drop. And well, thanks for watching, and I hope you will be with us next time. Stay safe, have fun, and bye bye.